Hello friends, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I wanted to talk about drawing while you're in a rush. This is something that happens to me quite a bit as I get up pretty early in the morning, and what I like to do before I get my day started is spend at least an hour, sometimes if I have the chance to do 2 hours. I like to spend it being creative and unblocking, the night's sleep and loosening things up so I can have a more free-flowing day. And being creative is a great way to do that, whether it's writing, drawing, playing music, or something. Just being creative in the morning or when you get up is a wonderful way to exercise your brain and get your day started. So for me, what I do is sometimes I'll just go to my space, and it's not always drawing. Sometimes I do the dishes, or I'll clean the house, or I'll do laundry, or even go out in the garden if I have time for that. There's always something to do. My favorite thing is to be here doing this kind of stuff, this doodling. And what I do is I basically just lay out a framework, a large shape, and then break that shape down into smaller shapes. So this is nothing more than a rectangle broken down into smaller squares and rectangles. And then I just come up with a subject. This just happens to be animals. I didn't know what else to draw today, so I said, you know what, I'm going to just put out some animals. And as I was laying out the shapes, I kept thinking to myself, what animals would I want to draw? First thing that came to my mind was a bear, and then raccoon, and then turtle, and it just kind of came along. So I did them as I went. The llama, I don't know where that one came from. That was the last thing I decided on, so I said, okay, I'll do a llama. And here he is. But you can see, putting down the shapes and the details into the shapes now allows me to take the Sharpie and kind of do the heavier outline of the whole framework. I do that because I want that, the outer framework to pop more. So when I go into it with the thinner Sharpie, I can do details, and I'll see that in a second. Now, why am I using a Sharpie? It's not really an art pen. Well, it actually is a cool tool because it's waterproof and I can do watercolor over it. But also, I don't want to use my more expensive Micron pens or the Copic multiliners. They're too expensive for doodles and playtime. So if I'm just going to do a quick 1 hour, 2 hour drawing like this, I'm not going to spend extra time and extra money using good equipment, which I can use on finished art later. So the Sharpies are perfect for this kind of, just quick exercise or just, quick doodling. And you can see this, the thin Sharpie works perfect. Now they do bleed. Oops. Naturally, they're athletes right away. So once that's all done and I have the ink down, like I said, it's waterproof. So I'm going to use this. This is my travel kit with a pocket brush. It's a Davinci brush, which has got natural hair. It's a number 3, so it's pretty thin. And the great thing about this is I can take this anywhere with me. So it can go in my bag, it can go in my car, it can go in my pocket, actually, if I wanted to. I just need access to water, which is usually never very hard. Sometimes I buy the small bottles of water, and I just work with that. This is great because this particular set is something that I put together myself, so it has the mixing wells right there for me, and I just grab a tissue or a napkin or something and use that as my blotter so I can clean out the wells and so forth. But it's just a very simple process of very quickly just laying down washes of color. Here I'm just using the burnt sienna to put in some washes for some of the animals, but it's like I've said in other videos and in other places that this is just that Zen place that I like to go to. When I did this, I had probably 2 hours before I had to get showered and ready for work. And what's better than walking away from this kind of time spent with a cup of coffee in the morning before anybody's up, doing something I love, and just unclogging that sleep thing that it frees up all the mental stuff in your head so you can start your day. You can think clearer, whether you're writing, whether it's music, whether it's even just, like I said, doing dishes or something. Getting that mental energy flowing is one of the best things you can do for yourself in the morning. A lot of times I won't even come up to my workspace. I'll be in the kitchen and I'll cook spaghetti sauce or something for dinner, or I'll plan things out for dinner. And that's another way of being creative. And that's something I really enjoy as well. But for today, this was, I had 2 hours to spend before I had to get ready to go. So I wanted to just do something a little more fun. And this is what I felt like doing. And my camera was here, my phone and everything was all set up. So I was like, I'll make a video of it real quick and I'll put it together and, see what it looks like. Now, there are times when I'm in a rush where I only have very limited time, like 15 minutes, a half an hour, even an hour. And I'll take a little, pocket-sized sketchbook and I'll just draw on that. I won't watercolor. I won't even think about that either at all or until later. And like in my car, for example, I think I have 2 or 3 small sketchbooks just tucked into the armrest and a couple of pens, a couple of colored ones, a pencil, and maybe just like a black ink pen. And those will come with me, whether it's like going into the doctor's office if I have to wait for that, if I'm picking somebody up and I have to wait outside in the parking lot for 15, 20 minutes. That's perfect for that kind of time spent. I don't like playing on my phone too often. I mean, I do, but not too often. I would rather be more productive and have something tangible to walk away from than playing a game on my phone. Playing games on the phone is fine, but it's not the same productive creativity. Your brain's not working the same way as doing something that is like this. This is mental exercise. And doing this, like I said, it puts you in a Zen place. I have another video about that, I think. Finding that zone, finding that Zen place is so important for me because I'm one of those people that's just always on the go and I have a lot of energy. So I need to put it somewhere. And this is a great place to put it. And, having something to show for it later, like this picture here, I'll probably put this up on Facebook just for fun. And just to share with friends, I would much rather put something that I created, a positive, upbeat image that everybody can look at and just, it's not offensive. It's not going to bother people. And when I go on social media and I see pictures of, political pictures or, pictures that just are sending a message, an agenda, that doesn't really excite me and it makes me, kind of look away from it. Sometimes you see something and you react, but I think more times people just tend to shy away from message images. This is not a message image. If I want to put a message image up, I'll make something more, poignant, or I'll have a specific purpose for it. But that's very rare for me. I am more about just putting up something fun, creative, something to make you think, something to make you smile, or something just positive. I like putting out positive imagery. There are some artists that like to put out negative imagery. They like to, I think my last video was about, a negative article that I wrote, that I read, not that I wrote. But, that's somebody's choice to do that. And there's room for that in the world. My choice is, again, to put something more positive out there. I like children's illustration. I like doodling, and this is kind of what my result is. Now, if you saw my sketchbook, well, it's a little different. My sketchbook, my true sketchbook, here I'm talking about a mistake I made. My hand accidentally wiped the llama's foot and smeared the paint down, which I will fix later in post-editing. But anyway, without going on and on about it, I prefer to put out some fun stuff on social media. When somebody is clicking into Facebook or Instagram or something and they see, the same pictures, the same selfies that they see 100 times, but then you scroll across this weird looking image that's full of color and curiosity, you have to stop. Your brain cannot help but stop and look at it. And whether you like it or not, you could look at this illustration and be like, this is not for me. This is not my kind of thing. Your brain can't help but look at this and go, oh, that's different, because it's striking. It's something that will make you stop and look. And that is the advice in this video is, life is so short not to be creative. Why not be creative? Take an image like this, turn it into this, and, you get something that you can keep for a while. And again, it will make people think and stop. Anyway, that's it for today, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, throw them down below, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great day, Thank you so much for watching.
You gotta let it grow up with you. And if you're successful and you try hard enough, you're bound to come out on